She is an independent media artist, producer, filmmaker, uh, commentator, motivational speaker, professor. I didn't know you were an actress.
Yeah, I had to tell on you. They don't know, Lisa.
Boy, Bob, I'm a bad actress. I'm terrible. I took acting classes. One of my best friends, Iris Williams, she was like, "Oh, you should take acting class. You're so outrageous." I said, "It don't transfer when you got other people's words in your mouth." So I did take 2 or 3 acting classes, but I will say that as they call it, opened up my instrument for talking. So I'm terrible. I'm terrible.
Well, that is very difficult to believe. Lisa, that is very difficult to believe. It is difficult for me to believe that you are terrible at anything that you attempt to do.
I know, but it does happen.
But if you want to take a deeper dive, I got a hell of a teacher for you.
Oh no, I don't want to take a deeper dive.
You got the presence, the presence. You got all that.
No, I can't do that.
Definitely do it if you put your mind to it. Don't. We know who you are now.
But you're saying that you are busy with lots of projects. You have a lot of things that you love doing. So you have your hands in a lot. I keep looking at Facebook and I look at some of the things that you're in, and really it's open for you to tell us what you are. What do you want to talk about of the projects that you want to do, or that you're doing? And I'm excited for it. But I just wanted to give you that introduction. I wanted to let everybody know, we are honored. I am honored to talk to Lisa Durden. And
1,000 years, you've never had me on the show. I never think about it.
I know. I had people. You've gotten people on the show. Right, no, talked about the show.
You don't realize my little side hustle is a PR, so I'm a publicist, and a lot of times people don't know that I'm a publicist or a PR person, I won't say publicist, because a lot of times I began with some local politicians, first my cousin Terrence, and then I did, Oscar Sidney James and a few politicians, and then I started to do PR for nonprofit organizations, kind of like by request. So I don't really pursue it because I don't really love doing press releases because I write well, but I might have some messed up spelling up in there sometimes. So I don't want to put out a messed up press release and then it gets printed and it's not cool. But so yes, I'm like, oh yeah, bring my clients on the show. And we just never thought to bring me on the show. So now we're reconnected and I'm so busy like, oh yeah, let's come on the show. So that's cool. But I'm glad to be on the show because the show's been on for a long time and you guys have really done a good job to me doing the kind of journalism that I enjoy. And I don't think journalism has to be like, I'm, Roger Grimsby and I'm, Sue Simmons and I'm, I think journalism is all about integrity. So you can write, you can talk, you can be on the radio, you can be on television talking about Kim Kardashian's butt and still have integrity in journalism.
Right.
Because if you're going to talk about Kim Kardashian's butt, make sure you know if you're going to talk about, is it fake or is it real? You just, as a journalist, I can't just say it's fake unless I actually know who did the surgery, what kind of surgery it was, and all of that, right? So you can talk about any subject you want, something very serious, something not serious, as long as you vet the information, you do your homework. And even then you can make a mistake, but people just reckless. I don't mean like lay people. I see journalists reckless, and I don't mean
lazy.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Say that again.
Lazy.
So you never catch me out there talking about topics, whether I'm writing a think piece, writing an essay, standing in front of people, talking about fun things. I just don't not inform, even if it's a topic that's not going to cure cancer, right?
Right.
Because it's just kind of like it's knee jerk for me. I went to Seton Hall University for journalism, and they taught me that, and I practice all the time. So even if I'm doing a film, I still consider the journalism of it all.
I didn't realize you went to Seton Hall.
Let's go Pirates!
Yeah, you got a lot of folks out of Seton Hall. You got a serious Seton Hall tradition.
Oh, really? Yep. So I went to Seton Hall University. Yeah, well, here's what it is. So yeah, so I was forced to do many things over the years because we Black.
Right. Right.
So people don't know I don't just. Oh, what'd you say? I didn't hear what you said.
I said, yes, ma'am. We definitely Black. We got to do what we got to do.
And then I check all the boxes: Black, woman, poor, and the list goes on.
Yes, ma'am.
So I began. People who know me kind of, I'll do quick and dirty. I began my career in front of the camera. And I used to host a show called Brick City. I was, the host of that local show, not the documentary. I was one of the associate producers on that, but everything in Newark is called Brick City. So
I never made that connection with you. That was you.
Hi, and welcome to Brick City on today's show. Yes, that was me. I was there for 4 years, from 1998 to 2000. That was me. So yeah, and so what? And I'll just tell you how I got into producing. So, and I'm naming names. We're gonna get there. Al Clark, the director from Cablevision. He doesn't work anymore, I don't think. He works at Montclair State University. And so when I was the host of that show, right around the time that Tiger Woods was kind of really big, and every black kid around USA wanted to be Tiger Woods. So at the time, there was a gentleman I forgot his name now. He had an organization called Renaissance Golf Inc. His wife worked at Prudential Center. She ran into me somewhere, I don't know, Pathmark, when we had Pathmark, supermarket, laundromat, I forgot where. She said, "Oh, I watched you on that show, Brick City. I would love for you to bring my husband on because he has this organization called Renaissance Golf. He teaches black kids how to play golf. And we go to the Weequahic Park, golf range. I don't know what you call it, golf range. And, it's one of the best golf courses in the country." And she went into this whole spiel. And I thought, okay, this is a cool idea. Pitched the idea to Al Clark, not a problem. He said, okay, we'll do the segment. The usual thing happens, you produce, for this show, you kind of do your homework. You make sure you book the day when they're golfing. You bring the cameras and you shoot the little kids golfing, and you talk to them in a sit-down interview about what the organization is and how you get kids to golf. And all of that is a package. Then I write the script for the intros and all that kind of stuff, blah, 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 blah. So I'm in the studio after everything's done. I have an ear prompt in. Ear prompt means somebody in the control room is telling you what to say in your ear, but you have a teleprompter rolling up as well. And so you're talking. But one thing you can't make a person do is say what's on the teleprompter. So I'm talking, and the teleprompter is rolling up. Hi, and welcome to Brick City. I'm your host, Lisa Durden. On today's show, we have a segment with golfers from Newark called Urban Golf. So Al Clark put Urban Golf as the name of the organization. Now, I was not Lisa Durden I am today. I was Lisa Durden 1.0. I'll tell you ass up these days. I was a little nicer then. So I said, I just thought he made a mistake. I said, oh, Al, I stopped, in midstream. It's not live. It's being recorded. I said, oh, you forgot to put the correct name. It's Renaissance Golf Inc. He said, well, what does it matter?
Oh.
That part.
Wow.
That part.
Wow.
Right there. Yeah, right. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to take a guess. Like, you did not give the race of the people that you were working with. And I just assume Cablevision, black producer. Can I go out on a limb and say that one black person who said that? What was it like?
He's white.
I was a guess. I don't know how I guessed that, but it was just a throw out there that the name didn't matter. And Renaissance, the Newark Renaissance, because back in the 90s, everything was Newark was about the Renaissance, right? We were bringing it back, the Renaissance.
That was a segregated mentality that showed up because Negroes ain't serious about golf. It's got to be it's urban golf. See,
right?
They couldn't have their own identity, and golfing started with a black man by the name of John Chippen.
Oh,
okay.
1901.
He wanted to say ghetto golf or probably something worse.
But there's an endowment in the city of Newark for black kids to learn how to play golf for like 100 years. That's even still available today.
So I don't know the details of how the gentleman who started the golfing organization got the funding for that, but nevertheless, it was a segment. So now I wasn't the Lisa Durden that I am today, but I still had enough good sense when I was a child, I was in my 20s, to think, no. So I said, well, no, if it doesn't matter, then change the name to the proper name. That's kind of like, my name is Kunta Kinte. No, your name is Toby.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
You feel me? I'm like, this ain't the Kunta. So I took about 2 or 3 rounds to go, is this a your name is Toby situation? So after about 3 rounds, I began to think he meant to do it. He meant to put urban golf versus Renaissance golf. He meant to change the organization's name, I guess, to send the message in the teaser. These little Negro children. Well, you're gonna see them anyway. Like it's really, you're gonna see they're in the images are there. You shot video, so you don't need to like call it urban golf, you know. So I said, Al, it's called Renaissance Golf. Change the name. In other words, I'm not budging. I'm not gonna say what's on that teleprompter, dude. So he said, all right. He was in the back cursing and screaming and banging on stuff. I've been cursed out before. I sat right there. So dropping F-bombs and MF bombs and banging stuff on the computer to change the teleprompter and all of that. You ain't intimidated me. We didn't have Karen Ken back then. Karen. He thought I was going to be intimidated, but not really.
Oh, wait. Can we back up for just a second?
Why don't we back up?
Because I'm just curious. He thought that you would be intimidated by someone dropping F-bombs in your direction. Did not know. He did not know. He is very lucky he got 1.0.
That was Lisa Douglas in my 20s, right?
He lucky he got 1.0.
In the late 20s, early 30s. That's late 20s, early 30s. So so I just sat right there, you know, because my mother raised me, if you have nothing good to say, don't say anything at all. Although now she's turning over in her grave because I will tear your ass up verbally.
Yes, you will.
You know I will, girl. And when I do, you're deserving. So just you might want to shut the hell up or you get about to get torn up. So anyway, I just let it slide, but I sat right there and I didn't do it. And he changed the thing. Because how would that have looked? A Black person's behind the scenes who is the one that pitched the idea. We did the segment, and then the Black person didn't fight to make sure the name was correct. And you're going to see the segment? Dude, really? So that went down, and that was my epiphany. I said, I had always heard about people saying things like, we don't see Black people on TV. You know, we don't have Black roles. We don't have anybody Black directing things. I would hear things like that, but it didn't mean anything to me because I wasn't a producer at the time. I'm just like on-camera talent. But that day was my defining moment when I said, you know what? I've got to start to produce and make sure I'm in control of the narrative and telling the stories. Because if we wait for them, we're going to keep getting mad at how they tell the stories.
That's right.
So that's when I did my first documentary called Project Wow. It's still on Central Avenue, the organization Project Wow. And I did it about the organization and the men that they helped and blah, blah, blah. Guerrilla style, no real budget. My first documentary was a feature. I ended up getting in some festivals and I was on the Michael Basin show when he was in New York and I was, did a good job with that. The film was so good that an organization called Park Hill Entertainment acquired some footage from my film because nobody had done a film like that but me. But I wasn't known at the time or known at all. And then she brought me in to interview J.L. King because he had been on Oprah and blown up. My film was out long before J.L. King, but when he went on Oprah, the conversation about down low men became popular. So that was my first, film. And that's how I began being a producer. And then after a while, I'm like, I can't keep sustaining this thing because I can't eat. So somebody said, why don't you just go for some freelance jobs? So that's how I kind of went for freelance jobs. Fast forward, my resume, here's my film, award-winning film. And I got hired for my first big job was the series called Brick City, the docuseries that was in Newark when Cory Booker was the mayor. So that was a 5-part docuseries. So got my teeth cut really well in a docuseries. It's a verite series. It's really, really a hard job to follow somebody for a year or two and you got 5 parts. Nowadays, we see episodes and episodes and episodes because we live in a binge society. When we did Brick City, that was groundbreaking. Nobody was doing docu-series. They were doing one-offs, 1 hour, 90 minutes, and that's it. Right. We were one of the first to do a docu-series or documentary series. And so fast forward, that's kind of how I cut my teeth. And so without giving my full resume, folks can look at me on. That
was a cutting edge time for this town too. We were in the beginning of days with the Newark Anti-Violence Coalition.
Correct.
The town was on edge with this violence. We had this pretty boy man who was trying to figure out how to handle stuff, but he wasn't around enough. All of that. It was a lot of tension in this town, and a lot of good, honest folks were trying to get at it to try and figure it out, and that captured a lot of it. That was a hell of a piece.
And I'll be honest with you, I caught a lot of a negative, what do you call it? People who were from Newark.
Feedback.
Yeah. So when I was at the post office, people who knew me who was a part of the project, not knew me personally, but oh sis, how come you couldn't tell a good effing story? And I took it well because it was true. And so some people got angry because they only showed the negatives, they only showed the crime, they only showed the negatives. Which of course, sure, every big city has negatives, but they didn't show some of the wonderful things people have in Newark. There's some people doing very well in Newark, and I'm one of the people that I don't kill and steal and sell drugs and all those things, and there's many of us that don't, who are educated and all that, and who are not educated, and they're just hardworking people. It's a combination of all those things. So that was acclaimed, but yet not for our people outside of the city of Newark. Oh, people loved it. Oh, you were on that when I'm in New York, and I went to China after that for a film. And whenever I was somewhere other than Newark, people loved it. Black, white, or green.
Because Lisa, that was at the Sundance, wasn't that just a
That was Sundance. It got nominated for an ACT award. It won a Peabody award. I mean, it was critically acclaimed.
Yeah,
so I say,
was a big deal.
Yeah. So I say to people this once again: when you have white boys doing your story, that's what you're gonna get.
Right.
Now, it's a nuanced thing. The white boys paid my bills. They gave me a check.
Right.
But if Lisa Durden, and I'm being real clear, if Lisa Durden, unknown, these white guys, I can't get mad at them, had production companies for a while, they're up there big. If Lisa Durden, this upstart production company, would have knocked at the door of Cory Booker and said, give me access, I would not have gotten the access.
Mm-hmm. That's real.
So you can't have it both ways.
Right.
So that's that.
Well,
fast forward after that, I began to try to do at least a hybrid. Okay, if I need to make some money and I see an interesting project and I want to apply for it, I'll go for it to make money. But I still am looking for stories I want to pursue, stories I want to tell. As a Black woman telling stories, we can't wait for other people to tell our stories and then get mad how they tell the story.
Right.
So as a Black woman also, it's not just Black woman, our stories are told even less. Mm-hmm. So now I don't kind of look for them anymore. They kind of look for me. Mm-hmm. So whenever there's a story that I think makes sense, it could be any story. It doesn't have to be a woman, but I am more excited when it's a Black woman story. So I did Girls Matter about.
I love that. I was going to ask you about. I was getting ready to ask you about that. Tell us the story of behind Girls Matter.
Right. So I met Allison James because she honored me in 2016 with a media award at her award ceremony. So that's how I found out about the organization. I don't have kids, so I don't know all the organizations. And then when I found out about the organization, I said, these people do a great job. So over the years, I kind of became knowledgeable about the organization. I went back to get my master's. I literally finished my master's in 2021. I have I have an MFA, Master's in Fine Arts, from the School of Visual Arts in New York. Clap for me. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes. Yes. So when one of the projects in class was a team project, and the professor said, well, here's a list of organizations. We want you to produce an NGO film, nonprofit organization film for a nonprofit organization in New York. And when you finish, you're going to give it to them for them to use for fundraising. So I said, excuse me, Beth, would it be okay if I do one from New Jersey, because I'm from New Jersey? And she said, well, I'm not going to make the other students go to New Jersey, but if they want to help you, I'll let them go if they want to go. But if they don't, I have a list of names already. I advocated for that. So I went and emailed all the students in the program and pitched the idea. Here's what this is. Here's what they do. Here's some links to some media. I was the press person, and I would love to tell their story. Who wants to be on my team to tell this story? Because we were all in New York. And one guy said yes, and two said yes, and then a young lady, and that's how I got the team. So I told the story as a thesis, a school project that landed as a short, and I went into festivals and won an award for animation and so forth and so on, a bunch of festivals. So that story's told. That story's out there in perpetuity. As long as I live, that story's out there. And lo and behold, one of the festivals I got turned down. A distributor said, if you want to pitch your idea to get some finishing funds, we're offering $5,000 for filmmakers. Apply. I applied. I didn't get the finishing funds. I kept it moving. I still finished the film. 6 months later, he wrote, "Hi, Lisa. This is Jesse from Light Beam TV. I'm the one that reached out to you about your film. I know you didn't win, but is it still available? We want to acquire it."
That
part.
Wow.
Oh, that part again.
So Lisa, can I go
Wait, wait.
back? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
can
ahead.
you all right, so when they wanted to acquire it, were they at least respectful with the price tag? Like were they at least like
The
all right,
price tag sucked. I'm gonna tell them my business. So the thing that people want the most from the filmmakers, whether you're independent or not, is you want distribution. You want your film distributed out to the public, the masses to see it. Their platform is called lightbeam.tv. Their brand is all good news all the time. So they said, I want to acquire it. So I said, okay, how much? How about $250 for a 5-minute film?
wait, stop. Hold on. Wait. Wait. Okay, so first they disrespected you the first time. Then they call you up and they offer you a chicken dinner. They're like,
Wait.
hey, we take you.
My entertainment lawyer, Dwayne Harley, charged me $700 to do the contract.
Right.
So the lawyer cost more than the price that I got paid for the film.
Oh wait, no, time out. And now here's a question though, like real question. Real talk. Real talk. Did you actually sell the film to them? And if so, why? Like, talk to me.
I did. You know, so sometimes you got to take that L. I learned from what's his name? Bang, bang, bang. What's his name? John Witherspoon.
Yes.
I heard him on a radio show on Wendy Williams years ago when he was doing the show with the Wayans brothers, and it was time to renew the contract, and he wanted to go for more money. I think he wanted to go for something like $60,000 an episode, and he was getting paid $30,000 an episode. It was a popular show by that time, and he said, I'm going for $60,000 an episode. He told his agent to, here's his quote, and they were like, oh, okay, well, we're just gonna write that character out. He said, whoa. Let's have this conversation. So he said, I learned a lesson that you don't leave no money on the table. So if I had other offers, I wouldn't have left money on the table, but I would have left it on the table. But I said, okay, what is the goal here?
Okay, fair.
To get it out to people in the world, or is it about money? Yes, it's about money too, but they were knocking. It worked. I moved on. It's a one-off. It won't happen again. But I'm being honest with folks. Your first one may not always be big money. And a lot of actors and people will tell you their first big movie, like even like Taraji P. Henson when she was in Benjamin Button, I think I paid $40,000 for the film, and she was already kind of known at that time. So you just decide, why are you taking that L? So I wanted to get that out there. However,
by the way, that is that, like, I asked the question because that's like one of those stories that's like, here's some wisdom, right? It's a tough story, but here's some wisdom, and that coming from you, like you're very thoughtful. You're very thoughtful. You plan. You try to do the things that you need to do.
Yeah.
I think that I don't think that often you get the credit for being as thoughtful and contemplative as you are. Right. I know you to be an incredibly thoughtful, incredibly contemplative person. Actually,
work speaks for itself. The work's got the range,
and so like that just thinking that went by that, right? Because here I am having one reaction, it's like, you must have told them to go to hell, right? And you're like, wait,
hold up,
right?
And I've learned from all kinds of people. So yes, this, we all kind of like can bend and bow for things we want to bend and bow for. So I felt like this story's bigger than me. It's bigger than money. Right. When I die, it'll be out there with these Black girls. Because her organization, Girls Live, Love, Laugh, has all kinds of girls in it, but she's a Black woman. And of course, they have a lot of girls of color. So I felt like, let me just put the story out there. I found a distributor. Let me just run with that whole situation. So that was that. Last but not least,
Lisa, but let me ask you a question.
Go right ahead.
There's the upfront money, but is there money, right, like, for instance, every time I see this movie on TV, will you get a check? Is there, I guess that would be considered royalties. So,
right.
So, like, if this runs, like, one of my old bosses used to say, somebody somewhere from that works with Law and Order is getting a check someday, because Law and Order is always on TV. So right, is that the case? As long as that show shows up on a network or somewhere, somebody, you're going to get a check based on whatever you negotiated.
Right. That's the point. Depends on your contract. So in this contract, no. So and what's worse about this contract? When I say worse, it's not like oh, a lot of money. I'm being honest. So in this contract, the way I'm using layman's terms, the way the contract worked was not only are you getting it for $250, but you can also sell it to other people who might want to put it on their platform through your platform, your partners and relationships. But it's not. But luckily, it's not exclusive. I can do the same thing too. So okay. I said, okay, since it's not exclusive, I'll let you do it. But they can do it, and I don't even know who they're selling it to. So I had my lawyer put a clause in where when you decide to sell it to somebody else, I need to be notified. I don't get to say no or yes, but I want to know where is it. So I can promote it or whatever. So that's cool. And I think they did sell it to one platform, and I got they tagged me. I was like, okay, and I started spreading the word. So fast forward, what's so interesting is, and this is the last point I'll say about my most recent project, which is Blind Divas, about two blind divas. They happen to be from Newark. Crystal Allen and Naquilla Wright-Prevost has an organization called Eyes Like Mine. And what they do is they have an organization that works with anybody and everybody from the blindness community, where they give resource fairs so they can get connected to information. They have events because they're people too, and they want to show we have abilities too. And they have a Miss Blind Diva empowerment pageant. They have a resource fair. They have the Dancing with the Blind. They do a whole bunch of stuff. So I had known about them again because I met them at an award ceremony where we both were being honored. And then, Crystal walked up and said, oh, you are a TV show host, you're an MC. Can you MC the event? I said, oh, she said, well, let's have a meeting. And I said, okay. She said, take my number and text me. I'm thinking, text you, bitch, ain't you blind? Huh. Can you see your text message? I was thinking that I didn't say it. So wow. I knew luckily that was my inside voice. So right. I didn't know about the blindness community. So I said, okay, text her. I texted her. We met at IHOP in Newark, and I found out there's technology for reading your text messages and all that. So I learned a lot through just the first introduction. So then from 2017 all the way till now, I've been with them a long time. I'm auntie now. I'm a mentor. The same distributor on the day, it goes full circle. And this is my last thing, and we can close it out whenever you're ready to go. The same distributor, Lightbeam.tv, we were on a Zoom finishing up the last negotiations of my contract for Girls Matter, said, okay, we were closing the meeting. And he said, oh, by the way, if you have any other ideas, we're doing a pitch competition. We're sponsoring a pitch competition with African American women in cinema there in New York. It's a long time film festival, has been going on for 25 years. He said, if you have anything, pitch it. I said, okay. And I said, African American Women in Cinema, AAI, AWIC, African American Women in Cinema. He said, so if you think of something, go on Film Freeway and everything's up there and just, apply. He didn't give me no favors. So I didn't think of anything for a couple of days or so. I'm thinking, the blind ladies are very interesting. Again, stories are all around me. So I pitched it, sent it. You didn't have to pay for it. Paper pitch. I was one of the 8 finalists at the event, at the festival, November 9th, 2021. All the finalists had to do a physical pitch. We were competing to get this $1,500 seed money. It's not even big money to produce another short film. Child, I pitched the hell out of that show. Mm. And I said, and before I finish, I want you to meet one of the blind divas, Crystal Allen. Do you have anything to say? My character was in the pitch. We killed it. I had my click. I had my present. Can I share the screen? Had my pitch deck. No one had a pitch deck. Nobody had their characters there. Lisa knows how to get down. Mm. So as you know, I won. Mama, I won.
and Lisa, let me ask you, in this networking world where we that don't know the business like you do, so I would think that Lisa would be, trying to get, because flights are decent to Atlanta, and trying to get on Tyler Perry's studio, because it seems that all roads are leading to that studio. Is that something worthy of you doing? And are the opportunities as abundant as they seem at the Tyler Perry Studios? Okay.
I can't speak for Tyler Perry Studios, but in this business, the jobs are not abundant. Mm-hmm. Even if you've got a resume, mm-hmm. It's still kind of like who knows you, and usually it's masculine energy. Not Tyler per se, but mm-hmm. 9 times out of 10, the masculine energy, people hire men more as cinematographers. They still hire men more as editors. They still hire, more men as directors, and they hire women as producers because the producer is a woman job. You do a lot of, it's very highly administrative. So I made the decision that instead of chasing, they say build it and they will come. I could have been in California a long time ago. I have no kids. I don't have no man. I mean, I got a piece of a man that's like, you ain't my husband. So I can leave you and go wherever I want to go. We ain't got no rings. So I could have been in California long before now, or like you said, Atlanta. I'm like, no, I'm in Newark. I have some headway. I was on Chasing News, and I've had other opportunities in front of the camera, which I still love and still do. Why uproot myself? And I have that going. So I said, you know what? Build it and they will come. So I want to build my platform where I live. And I'm not saying I won't take a freelance job and go somewhere for 6 months to shoot or whatever, but just moving there, no. So I'm also pitching other concepts, not just documentaries. I have done scripted things where there's a script and actors and we've casted people. I want to dip into that. I'm also pitching concepts. I won't tell them yet because they aren't sold. One of my partners is Tracy Baker Simmons. She did the Whitney Houston, the Bobby Christina story. She's doing a doc. She did the Tiny and T.I. Family Hustle. She did Being Bobby Brown, that reality show, the first one. So she's my producing partner. We have a couple of projects we're going to be pitching to networks. So I can be successful right where I am. I'm going to build it and they will come. Now, I'm not like the faithful person. I'm not a deity lover. I don't even know if there's a real deity. I'm so stripped down. I don't go to church anymore. I don't do any of that stuff. I try to live in the flesh. I do believe in energy and, all of that. So I feel like, let me just live day to day and just, when I wake up in the morning, do something every day toward my goal and put, and of course, employ my knowledge and all that too. And then, and let that be a trajectory, and let's see where that energy takes you. But yes, I am doing other things, so I don't feel the need to chase talent. I'm be okay up in here, and I got a job there. I would go there for the job.
And let me ask you 2 more questions.
Sure.
Well,
real quick,
we do have people in the thing.
Okay. All right.
All right. No, but we're gonna ask. All
right, so I'm going to close with the what are you listening to?
Donna, I'm saying that the question you were gonna ask, you could ask. Ask that, but you just made it seem like
I was going to close with it. That's why I was going to compact it. I was going to compact it all together. I was going to compact it all together. I was going to say Kenneth, I forgot Kenneth's last name, usually did that film festival. Is that still going on in Newark? And then I was going to ask you if it hasn't been, yes, and if it hasn't been asked already, the exit from ECC, has that made you a better Lisa? And then my last is, what music, hip hop artist, individual or group are you listening to these days that are inspiring you to do the work that you do?
Well, I like how you slipped that one in. That could be a whole segment in and of itself.
Yeah, right. You got that, right?
Right.
You did it right. So you can just come straight at me. I don't care. So really quickly, the first one was.
Is Kenneth still doing the film?
Kenneth's still doing the Newark
International Festival.
Yeah,
let me work on that.
So it did happen in September.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Newark International Film Festival.
Yeah,
right.
The Newark International Film Festival is still going on. They actually selected Girls Matter for last year's festival. So that was good. Now, the Essex County College situation, when they fired me for going on the Tucker Carlson show to stand up for Black Lives Matter.
Don't get me started.
That was the best Lisa you're going to ever get, because I tore his ass up.
Okay.
I was there supporting Black Lives Matter when it wasn't popular. The unfortunate thing about people, when Black people stand up for what we believe in, we got to make white folks comfortable. But why? They make us uncomfortable. So there's something wrong with me. There's no shame in the game. If I had to do it all over again, I would do it the same way, because what people don't realize is I'm never on TV talking reckless. I write my talking points. I'm a journalist. And what I do is, when I talk on television, I want to sound familiar. I want you to understand the words coming out of my mouth. So I don't use big words. I don't have to prove my degrees. I want to make sure a 5-year-old understands words coming out of my mouth, and a person with a PhD. So there's no better Lisa than that Lisa. In fact, actually, I need to be more of that Lisa. So I'm somebody that should have been celebrated for going on that platform in that building, to go in that ring and box the hell out of that white boy and walk off the platform.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Clap for that. And lastly, my.
That's why I said she stuck that one in. That's the whole segment. That's a 30-minute
You see
segment.
a flexor too. She's a good athlete too. Right? We ain't talking about that.
The one of the best rappers of all time, and I'm not gonna put gender, just period, is Queen Latifah. Who you calling a bitch? UNITY. UNITY. That's a unity. UNITY. That's my rap girl. And sing.
Ride, my queen,
right.
ride.
All right.
But I can come back and talk more stuff. But that's
We
miss you. Yes, we miss you. Yes.
You have got to come back, right? Like you've got to come back. And
I got to
that was funny putting that in right there, right? Like,
and she did, and she handled it in the time. Yes,
that's what the journalist does. They got to answer that question. She didn't know if she was gonna get mad or not.
Right.
That's how it works. You got to get it in.
Fair enough.
You did that.
But we got to have you back just to talk about that, right? At some point, because as I said, you're kind of like that's why I said you're like a local hero. You're kind of like one of my heroes.
Thank you.
Like seriously, right? Yeah. Like when you did that, went through that, all that stuff, like I didn't know you well before. Like I don't know you well. I didn't know you well before that, but just seeing you in that light, doing your thing, I just felt like proud of you, just as a Norker, proud to know you even in the way that I do. So thank you.
And thank you all for inviting me. I've been knowing Zaid for a long time. In fact, when we had that whole thing, Zaid was right there. That black brother was right there supporting me. I was like, this is a man right here.
And that's
a man.
And you taught me, because I came and I was like, see, Lisa, I just want to know if I could schedule a meeting, because why you got to schedule a meeting for them? Let them come to me. I was like, okay. Like, she really no.
Didn't call no pastors.
That's right.
Pastors call me. I'm a woman. You call me pastor. You up at that school fighting for that president up there. Did he call you? Why am I calling you?
She did not.
Woo, man from Chicago. You want to go fight for a man from Chicago to keep his job?
Right.
Now he works in New York at another college. Did he call you?
All that. Yes, she did. I was like, okay, yes, okay. I had a great lesson that day. Yes.
Honey, spit was coming out of my mouth. Now we got the COVID. I won't do the spit anymore, but Yeah.
Fair.
No, I wasn't mad. It's all love.
That's right. I understood it. That's right.
That's right.
Amen.
Now he knows how I roll. He knows.
That's right.
I know. Well, anytime, let me come back anytime. And I still got a Jonathan talk to you about the class. I haven't forgotten.
Absolutely.
We can do Zoom. They said we can do Zoom. I figured out how to do Zoom.
All right. Sounds good.
Awesome.
All right. Take care. And again, as always.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Why?
Absolutely. All right. So that is another segment. I love Lisa Durden. I think